in Pleasantville, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And
we
you
came out a
both
couple times.
Came out.
and supported and actually made yourself available to the arts community in South Jersey. And that means a lot to me. From my heart to yours, I want to say thank you for that. That being the case, and being that you are now veterans, I won't say elders. My old behind is an elder. I'm an elder in the same way Phyllis Diller was an elder, though. But being that you're veterans, how does it feel now knowing that you got a couple generations behind you that are like, yeah, I remember I was in second grade when I first saw my first Tiffani Dean play, and now she's like 30.
It's funny. It really is, because we have a couple of kids that we work with that have been with us since they were little.
Right,
With Nevaeh, who's going to be, she's 13, 14, and she'll be this will be her first play that she's writing.
Wow.
For
See, that's what I'm saying.
Shorts. Her sister, like I said, Brianna Vaughn. Oh my God, Brianna used to come to rehearsals with Nevaeh when Nevaeh was like 6, and like she would bring her sister to rehearsals.
We didn't even know Brianna had all that going on.
Yeah, and she turned out to be a triple threat. The girl can sing, dance, and act, and she is amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And they came through your platform.
And they came through Robbie. Oh my gosh, Robbie's getting ready to go to college. We met Robbie. Robbie was probably about 10. Yeah, he was around 10. So we really have been watching these young kids, or even all the kids that from PYPM.
Yeah. Oh wow!
I
haven't even heard that term.
We used to judge their slams.
We've had some of them.
Vish.
Yeah, we've had some of them, on stage, for productions with us, and
I love doing that.
It's funny that or people will say, oh my God, like, I remember you when da 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 da, and then I'm like,
let's call it what it is. They the ghosts, right? Let's call it what it is, right?
I don't know if they would refer to themselves as the ghosts.
Call it what it is,
but I will.
Influencing the next generation, right?
But
I don't care how many records you sell.
Right.
If you influence the next generation, then you deserve to be considered the ghost.
You're definitely in that conversation. Okay. You're definitely in that conversation.
Thank you. I don't even know how to take that.
I don't either.
I don't even know how to take
you
that.
already said that you influencing the young people.
Well, I have a question. And I'm sorry because we're time's starting to run out. We got about 15 minutes left. I have a question. I have a lot of questions, but I have a question that I think is equally important that a lot of times we as creators don't think about. What is your message, or what are your feelings about people who, because in what I do, I also get people who are elders, who are elder than me, who come back and say, I've been holding on to this story for 25 years. And I didn't think I was going to let it go. I didn't think I was going to do anything with it, but because of your platform, I'm going to go ahead and paint the painting. I'm going to go ahead and create the clothing line. I'm going to go ahead and write the poem. How important is it to you that other people who may be your senior or maybe your contemporaries find their voice via your platform?
I have a little story I can say real kind of quick. I wrote a play called "It's Not My Fault," standing up to blame culture, and it's about men and women who victims of sexual abuse, molestation, and rape, who either didn't tell or who were forced not to tell.
Mm.
The story came out from me telling my own story and Jody telling her own story. And we did it the same way we did Not Without Her Stories, where we did it kind of like in vignettes, where we were testing the ground as it was being written. We did this part this time, this part this time, that part this time, and then it all came together as a play. But one of the things was, in those small pieces, I had people coming to me saying, I'm ready to tell my story. I'm ready to tell my story. And there was a woman very important to me. And we call her Mama Glow. And she did 57 years in the New Orleans State Penitentiary. And I met her, and one day at a conference, I met her, and we sat in a writing session together, and we wrote poetry back and forth to each other the entire day.
Yeah.
And we realized that we both were coming from the exact same trauma. It's just that she went this way with hers. She went to a literal cell with hers, and I went into a cell within myself.
Mm-hmm.
And she, when I left her, she gave me an assignment to write, and when I wrote my assignment and I went back to her, she said, good, now write my story.
Wow.
And I was able to include it into the play. So it is an honor, when that happens, because, we tell the hard stories that no one wants to tell, so that no one feels alone.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I find that most of us, and I forgive me for intruding in your in your spotlight right now, but I've known all three of you as artists for some time. To a man, every artist I know started off feeling like it was just them and their book. And then we talked about Panoramic earlier. I remember one time I was at Panoramic and I felt like I bombed. I felt like all three of the poems I shared were just flat, or just, you ever have a day when you're on stage, you're just trying to get through, and I got through, and people still came up to me and said, Ray, what you said, or that line, or, that ending, or, just you being there. Especially at Panoramic, it was a good place to pull, but there wasn't a lot of guys there.
Right.
So as a guy, if you're there and there are other men in the audience, they're like, okay, yeah, I can have a voice in poetry too. So I just know how important it is for people. I know how important your platform has been to other creatives and people who aren't creatives. And I would ask you more questions, but we got about 9 minutes left, and Harv is looking at me like, don't ask another question.
No, I'm good. But please let folks know how to get tickets again. I don't want to get to the end of the show and not have you guys tell people how they can get tickets.
Can I say one more little thing?
Oh, sure.
When Tiffany and I decided to form as an organization. Tiffany,
No, never.
I said Tiffany.
Okay.
I thought she said Tiffany.
No.
Because you already know, I was like,
Never.
Tiffany.
You sound like Tiffany.
I was about to say,
Never.
that's what we doing now?
It sounded like Tiffany.
Never, ever, ever.
Okay, all right.
To form as an organization, as an LLC, our name, we were very purposeful in what we called ourselves. We're a collective of artists. And that was to create that platform for all artists. And it doesn't matter what genre of art that person is in. And she and I have both been bequeathed with writing other people's stories too. Because we both have written
We've written
several
a lot
other
of
stories. And that's a huge undertaking, but it's an honor when someone asks you to write their story or help them write their story. That's why we want the platform that we have. So when we do have our annual show, and we're encouraging poets to, hey, try your hand at becoming a playwright. This is an elevation of poetry, and it's telling the story that you want to tell here. So that part of that is very important for us. It's very important for us to be able to share the platform.
So tell folks how to get tickets.
So to
But
get
hold on,
tickets?
hold on. But also, because I noticed with something you sent me, people can also donate
Yes.
in regards to the mission that you guys have.
Oh,
Yes.
So
yeah.
you can do
Yes.
both.
We get no funding. We do it all ourselves, and we sacrifice it. But this is our ministry. This is our ministry. But we ask for donations at our GoFundMe link. It's under the Collective Mike Productions. Everything on social media to follow us is the Collective Mike or the Collective Mike Productions. To get tickets for our upcoming show, Veterans Day weekend, November 8th, please go to Eventbrite and just type in Not Without Her Stories, and it'll pop right up. You can reach out to us at thecollective2014@gmail.com if you have further questions or if you can't find the link.
Now, I know y'all got some other stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
What else do y'all
So
have
in
going
June, after our annual show in April for Poetry Month, it's coming out for Poetry Month. In June, we'll be producing Tiffany's play It's Not My Fault. We co-created with that, and then
It just won an award.
it just won an award at Atlanta Black Theater Festival
Oh,
for
wow.
Best Playwright.
on? Wow.
Yes.
No, that's the same thing we just talked about, the Barrymore?
No,
No.
no.
That's
We're
another
Barrymore
award?
nominators, so we work with Theater Philadelphia, and we go around watching different plays and
Okay.
evaluating them across the city.
So what award did y'all win?
Best Playwright at the Atlanta Black Theater Festival this
That's
summer.
something totally.
September.
So y'all, see,
So we
see-
travel around to different theater festivals, like we get selected for them and we'll travel. We push the envelope. That's another reason why a lot of our artists love us, because we'll push the envelope. We go outside of the city. We've been off Broadway. We've been to Hollywood. We've been at Atlanta Black Theater Festival at least 4 times. Shout out to Miss Tony Henson, the creator of Atlanta Black Theater Festival. We've done She NYC. We've done quite a few
North
festivals.
Carolina.
North
Yeah.
Carolina International Black Theater Festival. So we're not afraid to put our work out there.
Any
and get it done.
videos, anything that folks can purchase to see what you guys got going on?
Well, not yet, but there is
They're
YouTube.
coming.
We're on YouTube. The Collective
Oh.
Mike Productions on YouTube. Everything, all social media is the Collective Mike Productions and the Collective on Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, we can see our
Please follow
films. The Not Without Her Stories
Oh, yeah.
went viral on.
No,
YouTube.
that was She Speaks Not.
Oh, She
We
Speaks
got-
Not.
We do film too. So.
See, I get it mixed up.
We got a film award at Atlanta Black Theater Festival the year before too for best short film on the festival. That is The Pen by Chike.
Okay,
No,
so
that
see,
was
I'm
She's Not,
starting
not
to,
the
I'm
one.
starting to come around to this
Oh,
go.
She Speaks Not. You're right. Oh,
Yeah, that was She Speaks
So She
Not
Speaks
that
Not
won
got
that
the
award.
award for best short
They
film.
can't even, look, they so
They
famous.
forgot how many awards
They
they
so
won.
famous. They so famous. They
I got the
they
Soul
can't even-
Train award, but nobody
Yeah,
counts
exactly.
that no more.
This is our ministry, and we work hard in it.
They so famous they don't
I
even,
do-
they don't even remember. Like, this is,
I do have one last question, one important question. With regards to Not Without Her Stories, because I've heard the word therapy a couple times. Can you talk to us about the importance of people, veterans, women, allowing themselves to get help and to heal? Because I do know at the very least on the low end, survivor's remorse is a real thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do address that in the play as well. And it just veterans in general, not just women veterans, but probably more so women veterans, because, we're taught that we have to do all the things and keep it moving. Like giving yourself permission is so important for therapy. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to get this anger and pain out. And seeking help helps you do
But
that.
you may not have heard, there are some people in the black community who have a problem with that, who will say, if you go to a psychiatrist or if you seek to get help, people will think you're crazy.
Listen, and they just gonna have to think you crazy. It's okay. I thank God for my therapist. I thank God for the therapy that I have done some trauma work, and especially at the VA.
Well, in my case, I am crazy, but
it's okay.
it's okay.
You're dealing with your
You
crazy.
exactly, they're gonna be all right.
I had a T-shirt on yesterday that said "Normal people scare me."
Facts.
Yeah, no.
That's
There you
for
go.
real.
There you go.
That is for real.
There you go.
It's always the guy with the suit on and the clean haircut that's the biggest psychopath in the world.
There you go. There you
Just
go.
like the psychopath uniform and whatnot.
Exactly.
Michael Douglas and Falling Down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you've lived this life and you've experienced not necessarily trauma, because we tend to talk about trauma without looking at the symptomology.
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to throw the term around, but it is extremely important to go have somebody that you can talk to. And what I typically tell people is that the person that you talk to gets paid to listen. Everybody else that you may talk to will give you a Bible verse. They'll tell you to get over it. They won't sit down and necessarily listen to you. So ultimately, like, I'll be a therapist probably within the next year. So yeah,
One thing I can't control is time, so please forgive me as we are coming into the home stretch. Harv, thank you so much for putting this together. How can people get in contact with you if they want to send you a request or a suggestion for what to do next?
They can reach me on Facebook, Harv Nichols. That's me.
And we're here with Jody Austin and Tiffani Dean. Not Without Her Stories, written and directed by Jody Austin, November 8th at the Venice Island Performing Arts Center, 7 Lock Street, Philadelphia, PA. Manny,
Thank you for having us.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming. We got about 30 seconds left. You got the last word. if
Please
you
come
want.
out and see us. Please come out and honor veterans on Veterans Day weekend, November 8th, Not Without Her Stories. See you there.
And if you enjoyed this conversation, look for the video at AtlanticCityFocus.com. Shout out to everybody who's meeting me over at Mashulu tonight. Everybody's going to meet me at Anchor Rock tomorrow. My name is Raymond Tyler. This is The Light, and Snooki Blaze is next. You're listening to WPPM LP Philadelphia.
That was
We're clear.
Greg, I thought you weren't gonna say nothing about it.
Well, you act like it was a problem for me to lay in the cut.
You know what I mean? You laid back in the cut.